Everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Business Growth Show, where we talk about all components of business and how to utilize them for exponential growth. My name is Athin Cassiotis. I'm a business growth expert where I help business owners grow and scale to create wealth and freedom. And today, I have an awesome guest. His name is Micah LaCerte, and he's the co-founder of Hitch Fit and Rock Body with his wife, Diana. And Micah is a muscle model world champion, Ironman Fitness Magazine cover model, TV personality, and motivational speaker. And his passion for the past 25 plus years has been helping people transform their bodies and lives. And he and his wife have helped clients in 81 countries lose over 600,000 pounds. And their business, Hitch Fit, was recently rated the #1 online personal training program in the world. And they also have 2 transformational gyms in Kansas City. And his proudest moment was not in fitness, but in giving back in Haiti. He and his wife sponsor a school of children there. And then recently he was able to go and meet them in person. And the goal has always been to impact as many people as possible using his platform to spread a positive, uplifting message. And Micah's motto in life is flex and smile. So welcome, Micah LaCerte, and thank you for being on my show.
Man, what an awesome opportunity. Thank you for that intro, man. That was great.
You're very welcome, mate. I love giving a lot of energy at the start. So, I'm sure it's going to be great for everyone watching and listening today. So you're a very successful entrepreneur. So for those people who don't know who you are, please introduce yourself by telling us about you and your journey.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start kind of around the age of 18 or so. I was skinny growing up, had a lot of insecurities due to being skinny. A lot of people think of bullying happening to people that are overweight. It does happen the other way around as well. And essentially, I wanted to kind of take control of my life again, increase my confidence, and get my health on point. And so I found the gym. And so when I was in college, I started working out at the humbling weight of 138 pounds and at 6 foot tall. And I just fell in love with it. Not only how I was looking aesthetically, but also just more importantly, how I was feeling mentally, and just everything that changed within me, day by day, week by week, year by year. And once I went through my own transformation, I knew that my goal in life was to help people feel the exact same way that I felt. I was like, I didn't even know that existed. To wake up every day feeling strong and focused and clear and confident. And so it's been really my passion in life to do that. Now, I went to college to get my business marketing degree. So I was a marketing guy, loved marketing, but I always tell people, I graduated with a PhD in transformation and bodybuilding because I literally spent probably 4 to 5 times more time on learning about the body, how to transform it, everything psychology-wise to do with it. And so by the time I got out of college, I was like, man, I really want to wake up and do this every single day. And then right around that same time, so right around the age of 21, 22, I got into fitness modeling. And so, I knew that from a marketing standpoint, the larger I could get within the fitness industry, the more clout and visibility I could get to eventually build my own business. And I was very successful in the fitness industry, gracing covers of magazines and reality shows. And I ended up winning a world championship in 2011. In 2008, I met my wife. We started Hitch Fit in 2009. And like you had mentioned, since that point, 600,000 pounds, a little over that now, in 81 countries globally. I mean, we just wake up every single day. My wife and I, we run a business together, which is very unique too. And just really with that deep passion of helping people become their best versions, whether that be the CEO or entrepreneur, to that stay-at-home mom, from a teenage kid up to 60, 70, 80 years old that just wants to get healthy and live the rest of their life, the best life. So that's kind of, where my purpose, where my passion is. And I do all that I can. I always tell people too, this has been a little bit long-winded, but I always tell people this, like, I'm slightly obsessed with helping people transform their lives. And people ask me, are you the best trainer ever? I'm not the best trainer ever, but what I'm really, really good at is brainwashing people into believing in themselves. And that skill has allowed me to help thousands of people across the world.
Yeah, I love that. What a powerful story. And I love that brainwashing element as well. That's why I like to say that to people as well. Like in business, that mindset side is so important, right? It's like almost say like bullshitting your brain to an extent where you got to believe in yourself so much that whether it's your health and fitness or your business, whatever it is, right? So that you can move forward and achieve what you want and just, yeah, transform your life and everything. So I love all that element. Now, some people may be a bit skeptical, right, in terms of their health and fitness, right, and their weight, right? So do you want to maybe just talk about why it's important for them to have, good health with their weight and fitness, and also for growing our business, right, as well as in our life?
Well, the more studies that come out, there's actually a really gigantic study out of Australia that just came out. 127,000 people participated in that study. I think it was in the British Sports Journal, I think is where it was actually fully released as well. But they showed that fitness, just fitness, now we're not talking nutrition, just physical activity and fitness was 1.5 times more effective for helping depression and anxiety than any medication and any counseling. Now, I'm a firm believer in if you need to go speak to somebody, go speak to somebody. But dude, fitness and nutrition is the fountain of youth. It literally changes the game. So I've had the opportunity to work with hundreds, if not thousands, of like business owners, CEOs, top execs, and I'll tell you the same exact thing. They focus so much on making as much money and being as successful as possible. And they've been good at that. But what they've not been good at is putting that same discipline and focus into their health. And I explained to them, if you get healthy and you get fit, dude, success is going to double, if not triple. Your confidence, your energy levels, your clarity, walking into that room with so much just that shine that health and fitness brings. And then that translates over to your friendships, your relationship with your wife, your kids. It changes everything when you have control of your health and how you're feeling. Every single day you're waking up with a purpose and a passion that's bigger than just the dollar.
Yeah, I love that. So powerful and so true. Completely agree with that. And I guess there's a couple of different elements of this, right? Where people go in with a couple of different intentions or goals where they either want to maybe lose weight because they're not in good shape, or maybe they want to build muscle. They want to look really good, right? When they're doing this fitness element of themselves. So how does it change, right? In terms of the fitness and I guess the nutrition element when people have these different goals to get them to where they want to be?
Yeah, and this is a great question because there's a big misconception. So we'll ask a simple question like, what are your goals? Well, my goals are to build muscle and lose fat. And they say this all the time. This is probably 80% of people not realizing that it can't be done effectively at the same time. And what I mean by effectively is like you either need to be in a deficit or you need to be in a surplus. If you're growing, you typically need to eat a specific weight to grow, which is more calories into the body, and you're training specifically for growth. When you're trying to lose fat, you may increase your cardio up, you're going to be eating specific, you're really disciplined with the types of food you're eating in, and you got to be in some level of deficit when it comes to caloric intake. So I always tell people like you can't do it at the same time. It's like getting on the scale and going, I want to gain weight and lose weight at the same time. And people also need to understand like the fat cell and the muscle cell are two very different cells. And it takes a long time to build legit muscle, whereas it takes not a lot of time to lose fat if you're doing everything right. And to give you just an idea, so like the average man, for instance, the average man can gain about 7 to 10 pounds of lean muscle mass in a year, let's just say on average. That same guy could lose 7 to 10 pounds of fat in 4 to 6 weeks effectively. So you see the difference in time frame that it does to like build muscle comparative to losing fat.
Yeah, awesome. Love that. So yeah, make sure you're there with your intention first, and maybe you build the muscle, then lose it depending on where you're at. I love that. And you're a muscle model world champion, right? Which is an amazing feat. So congratulations on that. And I'm sure it took a lot of dedication, right, to get there. So like, how did you grow during this period, and what did you learn about yourself, right, through the process of becoming, a world champion?
Oh man. So to bring it back a little bit, my wife was the competitor. So when I met her, she was a 2-time world champion, which she reminds me on a daily basis. that I only won one and she won two. But she was really passionate about competing. I came up again in the fitness modeling world. So I was doing more of the covers and TV stuff and whatnot, and I really enjoyed that. And then she's like, "Oh, you need to get on stage. You could do well." And I got on stage in the first year, like I physically was ready, but I was not ready for the stage and the presentation behind it. I ended up getting ninth in the world. That was in Canada. And then we ended up coming back the next year, got fifth, and then I got first. What I'll tell you about bodybuilding in general, and for your viewers out there, not everybody wants to be this top level bodybuilder. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the bodybuilding lifestyle. There's a level of discipline to it that carries over to so many different aspects of life. If you can become successful with transforming your body into something that is, just absolutely healthy and a best version of you, you can do that same thing with your business, with any relationship you have, because it requires the same amount of discipline. I always talk about motivation versus discipline. And like motivation is a roller coaster that goes up and down. Discipline is something that is a part of your DNA. It's a part of who you identify yourself as. So you show up even on those days that you don't feel like it. During that transformation that I went through, the first one that I went through was that skinny kid trying to get a physique that was presentable. And then I got into fitness modeling and it became more and more. When I started competing, it was another level. It was another tier, as I would say it. And I'll tell you what, the level of discipline and dedication, it's not for everyone. I'll be completely honest with you, because there's a big portion of your life. There's a big imbalance. I'll tell you that. There's a big portion of your life that you have to give up for periods of time. Going out to eat, you're not doing any of that. A lot of the relationships you have with friends, it's, you're texting and calling and stuff, but seeing them in person, it's so scheduled and so disciplined when you're trying to become a world champion, that I always tell people, I'm like, it's not just dedication. You got to be obsessed with it. It has to be an obsession. And I know that's a harsh word for a lot of people, but I think even a lot of entrepreneurs out there would agree that when you're trying to get your business to its top elite level, or trying to get to that next stage, there's a slight obsession with it, and trying to balance out your relationships. If you have a wife or a husband or kids, that can be very, very challenging. And so competition was very, that's kind of how it was for me. Fortunately, my wife understood and was going through prep at the same time. So we ate the same foods. We had kind of a similar schedule. So that flowed really well. But I'll tell you what, the amount of self-growth that happened during those years were probably some of the biggest growth spurts for me, just due to, like, when you go through prep, it's kind of like being in a storm, and you got to put your head down and you got to go through it, because it doesn't seem normal. And everyone around you, you're seeing everybody having fun and whatnot. And you're like, I got to wake up at 3 a.m. to have my first meal. And then I got to do cardio. And then I got to go work out again at 12. And I got to have 6 more meals after that. They need to be this, and your sodium, your carbs, your fats, your proteins. I mean, it's that detailed when you're trying. And then you're getting on stage for like a couple minutes, and then you're putting it into the hands of judges in a subjective sport. Like, I mean, it's a lot. It can be pretty scary and terrifying, but you go out there and you give your best. And I just used my platform to really help a lot of people. And so it was a beautiful thing as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love that being obsessed element about what you said there. And it's so true, right? In anything that we do, because there's going to be challenges, right? There's going to be days where you're not going to want to do things, and that dedication, that discipline, that commitment, to really, that's what really gets us through and moving towards that goal. So I really love that. Let's talk about your wife for a second, right? Because you mentioned her a couple of times, and you're in the business together, and it's going to be challenging for a lot of people, right? To actually work in the same business, but also have a great life, right? With the, together with your family and everything else like that. So just share a little bit about how you make it work well, right? From the business perspective, as well as from the life perspective.
Yeah, so foundationally, faith is our big, core thing. But we had some non-negotiables from the very beginning, things that we put in place that I think can be applied to any relationship. And number one we always have a date day or date night sometime during the week that we spend time together, that's quality time together. Maybe that's just a simple walk together. Maybe that's something, you know, dinner or something else. We're going to find something to do together that is with us, that's bonding, that's getting us closer. The other thing that we really, really put in stone was never going to bed angry. I'm a huge believer of this. When you have an issue, sit down and communicate it. You've got to communicate really well, especially if you're doing a business. We were a startup 14 years ago. We lived in a small little attic. So not only, you know, were we together all the time, we were in a small space too. And so the communication was absolutely crucial. So if we had disagreements or we had little battles or whatnot, we just took care of it right then. And we moved on because we had bigger things that we needed to take care of. And so I would just tell people, like, you know, make sure that you're communicating. That is a gigantic thing. Let people know what you're feeling. Let your wife or your husband know how you're feeling. And then also, one thing that we did that I think was really unique is we found the strengths of each of us. Not only the strengths, but what we enjoy doing within the business. And I know she will get her stuff done. I know I will get my stuff done. The stuff that we're not good at, or more importantly, that we're not interested in doing on a regular basis, that stuff we hire out.
Yeah, awesome. I love all those different elements about how you work together, and yeah, the connection, the communication, big piece, and then yeah, focusing on what you enjoy. So love that, mate. And obviously Hitch Fit, you know, recently rated #1 online personal training program in the world, which is amazing feat as well. So congrats on that. So your reach expanded massively, right? You know, 81 countries, you know, to lose over 600,000 pounds, which is massive. So do you want to talk a little bit about how you were able to get it from this startup, right, that was there, to then, you know, get it to that real global level?
Yeah, so I'm not for sure how old you are, but back in the day, there was this social media platform called MySpace. And MySpace was absolute for social media marketers. Like, there wasn't a lot of social media marketing at that particular point, especially early on. So we're talking 03, 04, 05. Right around 06, I started this online personal training. Now, I did not see it anywhere. And how I figured it out was I had a girl that reached out to me from Canada, and she said, "Man, I would love to work with you. I see all the success of your clients, and I would love to work with you, but I live in Canada." And I was like, you know what? I probably could just make you a plan. I'll charge you X amount. And that was, you know, it was totally generic plan comparative to what we make now. But that was kind of the start of how the idea came. And I'm looking around, I can't find it anywhere on Google. I don't know if maybe there were a handful of people at that time that were doing it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I have something here. I needed time to build the concept of the business and really get, you know, the layers set down. So it wasn't until 08 that the business actually got all of its roots together. And then early 09 is when we launched the business. But even at that point, we were very, very, very new. So I definitely was a pioneer in the online personal training space. From that, I mean, we've worked on the business every single day for 14 years. That means my wedding day, every honeymoon, every travel day. I mean, we work on that business much like it would be our child or our relationship. And I'll tell you what, it's been an amazing ride. You know, I know you're out of Australia. One of my favorite transformations ever was a guy named Andrew out of Australia. He lost 63 pounds in 5 months. And he used to be kind of a top level volleyball player. And he made this video for me, and he's just like, "Man, you saved my life." And it's stories like that keep us working as hard as we can, because we may get an opportunity to save or change someone's life.
Yeah, I love that. So powerful. And I love the pioneering, and it's understanding what the market's showing you, right? You saw the need, someone came out to you, right? Okay, let's create something of this. And then you saw what was available in the market, what people weren't doing, and you do it. So I love that, capitalizing on that opportunity, which is really powerful, right? Just to get other people to think similarly, right, of what you're seeing and doing the same thing that Micah did. And there's always opportunities, right, in whatever time it is today. So I love that. And your Hitch Fit programs are obviously different, with your methods. And I know that they also include, some direct and unlimited access and things like that, which is amazing, right? With you guys. So do you want to talk about how the programs are different, and then also about how you're able to keep this up, with your daily lives as well?
Yeah. So, over the years, online personal training, especially through COVID, a lot of the personal trainers who didn't have online platforms and utilizing online programs ended up moving over because they were forced to. And so, the market now is extremely saturated. Fortunately, we got in at such an early stage of it and built the relationships and the foundation of it very, very early on. And so, now we get the opportunity to just, help so many people all around the world. And, I think one of the big things is just, knowing that you get to wake up every single day and you get to authentically help someone transform their lives. Like, it is, for those people that are listening, like, if you're a passion-driven person that gets to wake up and do what you love, you know exactly what I'm about to say here. So I've always looked at it as something that was not work. It's just been, something that we've really thoroughly enjoyed. And I got to tell you, the opportunity of seeing the online business grow and then building that into brick and mortars in Kansas City as well. And really following the same model, because we copied the same model in online over to the brick and mortars, which was also one of a kind at its time. And if you walk into our gyms, just thousands of pictures all over the walls. So it's just a constant, man. It's just a constant daily inspiration, and I've been able to live this out for 14 years. And I love the ride. I get to do it with my wife, and I got to help a lot of people along the way.
Yeah. Awesome, man. I love that you, transform it to your two transformational gyms as well, in Kansas City. It's funny. Whenever I hear that, I always think of Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. I don't know if anybody ever says that to you a lot of the time, but it's probably...
My wife said that to me because she had never been to Kansas City before. So she was like, am I going to be Dorothy?
I love it. We probably don't hear it as much over here, right? Compared to in the US. So that's definitely a distinct thing for me there. So I love that. And you've been able to, mold that across, it's conceptual implementation, right? It is a term. Basically, it's right, how do you take a concept over here and then move it over here? And that's what is very powerful, is just to get people to awareness, right? There's a lot of power in that, if you're able to do that successfully. So I know you also run rock body retreats in different locations. So do you want to tell us a bit about them and the benefits of doing a retreat versus going to a gym or just doing a home workout?
Yeah, so the retreats is really something that we were excited about doing. We kind of dabbled in it a little bit before COVID, then COVID shut everything down. But we actually partnered with a couple, Travis and Brittany, just over about a year and a half ago. They had Rock Body. We had come in and kind of did like a Rock Body / Hitch Fit retreat together. And then we meshed so well. We kind of came in and gave a little bit of our vision and what that looked like. They had a little bit of their vision, and it was kind of born into something bigger than they had originally even planned on. And then we unfortunately had a really tragic situation happen earlier this year. In February, Travis passed away, which is, it was very, very difficult because he was one of my best friends. And became a best friend very, very quickly, and also a business partner. And so that was one of the hardest challenges we've had to do within a business is, you never fathom someone passing away, especially at that young of an age, and then left with a wife and two kids that needed to be taken care of as well. But we knew that Rock Body needed to continue going forward. And the special thing about Rock Body is the retreats give us this ability to spend, 4 nights, 5 days / type of retreat that we get to really pour into these folks. And they're all different walks of life. So it's not just, the ultra millionaire CEO type of person. It's a stay-at-home mom type of situation. It's a firefighter or a police officer or just someone that's looking to level up their their lives, their bodies. We really pour in when it comes to health and fitness, and really breaking down what they're doing now, really trying to make a huge impact, whether it be their faith, their finances, their family and relationships. So it's a really powerful deal. We kind of do the same thing within Hitch Fit, but the whole entire focus is really about health and fitness. We get to dabble into some of that, which is personal talk. But Rock Body Treat, we know that the people that are coming are ready to break down and then build back up by the time they leave.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds very transformational. And I love intensity, trainings or retreats and things like that over a few days, because you can get a lot of like momentum and shifting happening compared to something over time. I think there's obviously definitely room for both, but really powerful. So if I ever come down there, and then I'll let you know with getting down there as well.
I hope you do.
Be awesome. Now, for some people, they might think, well, let's say they're doing nothing right now, and they may be like, oh, do I really sign up to a program? Because when you go to the gym the first time, you know this, right? You're sore, right? Like everywhere, wherever you work out. And some people can stop them, right, from getting into something new. So is there some sort of simple routine, like a couple of exercises or something that we can do at home without any equipment, that just might put people, just do that for a couple of weeks, or something like that, just to give them a little bit of confidence to go, okay, yeah, now I'm ready to do a program like yours, to then, sort of take it to the next level, to, give us some strength or something like that?
So I'll give you kind of 2 looks at this. So first off, with Hitch Fit, we build programs based upon where that person's at. So a lot of the people that start with us have never worked out a day in their life. That can be terrifying, intimidating, especially if they're going into a gym. We fortunately can make it in a way where it's like, if they just have some dumbbells at home, we can do something like super limited with limited equipment that can be very effective in their own home, so they're not having to deal with the in-gym type of intimidation for some of those people. But what I'll tell people, that just as far as tips when it comes to working out, first off, there's 2 different things. So we have anaerobic and we have aerobic. So the aerobic exercise, this is go for a walk. If you got a dog, you got a family member or a friend that wants to go for a walk, start going for walks. This is going to help with your heart strength, your conditioning, your endurance. The strength training is called anaerobic. So on that side, we're really focusing on getting stronger. And you're right, that first week, sometimes 2 weeks, the body is really sore because it's almost like screaming and going, what are you doing to me? And so what I would generally say is that's pretty common across the board. Everybody is going to deal with some level of soreness if they go from doing nothing to something. But you can start with just simple stuff like maybe a set squat. This is a really good movement for your overall legs, from your quadriceps and a little bit of your calves, your glutes. Set on the couch and stand right back up. So you're doing a squatting position over and over and over. You can do 10 to 12 reps of that for 3 to 5 sets. Start with some push-ups. If you can't go from your toes, just go down to your knees and do as many as you can. Rest for about a minute and repeat that. Do that for 3 to 5 sets. I mean, even those 2 little exercises right there, you're talking legs and you're talking upper body, just to get your body starting to flow and get adjusted to what you're about to do. But again, the biggest strength that we have within the programs is, like, most people have no idea what they need to eat, when they need to eat, how much they need to eat, their strength training of what they do, how to do it. And so that can be a really scary thing. And I'll tell you, like, we break it down, and the really good trainers out there break it down in a way that there should be no guessing. Like, it is, do this and you're going to get in amazing shape and get educated through it.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Really, really powerful. And some people might come to you that play sports, right? And it might not be like, the highest level professions, but they play sport and they want to do better. And I know there's, for example, things like plyometric exercises and things like that, right,
Mhm.
which can
Yep.
help getting that, fast, muscle fiber twitches, etc. for that. So is that something that you bring in depending on what their outcome is to be able to enhance things, other areas that they want to do outside?
So yeah, so we bring that in a little bit. But what I always tell people, like, is I'm not a sports trainer. I'm not a sports specific trainer. But what I am is I'm a transformer. So I will go into their lives and make their life better, make their body better. In turn, they will become a better athlete. If I can make them stronger and faster just because I'm fueling them better and training them a specific way, they can carry that on to the pitch or the field or wherever it is that they're playing their sport and be better. I have a ton of examples of that. One guy was a big CrossFit guy that I had worked with, and he was probably in the middle of his group, as far as his gym, as far as where his conditioning was. And I said, hey, I need you to stop CrossFit for 12 weeks. I said, when you come back to CrossFit, you're going to be better at CrossFit. And so I went in and dialed everything in. I kept in mind a lot of CrossFit movements and understanding the mechanisms of what he was going to do when he got back to CrossFit. And then he ended up coming back. He got through the transformation, came back to me about a month later, and he goes, dude, I'm number 1 at the gym now. And I was like, see, like we could get away from CrossFit and make him better at CrossFit. The same thing applies to, if it be a football player here in America or a soccer player or whatnot. You work on those speed stuff, much like a track guy would or a track girl would. You work on specific bursts and then a little bit more endurance. You figure out what sport it is and you get good at the movements that you're going to do.
Yeah, I love that. Love that. So powerful. And I love that sometimes you have to plateau or slow down for a little bit, right? To set yourself up with a good foundation to move forward. It's the same in business, like we're setting up systems, as you would probably know
Yep.
your business, right? Sometimes you don't just focus on the growth the whole time. You go, listen, we got to get our foundations right, whether it's our strength or our business systems, and then we can then grow, right? And become better.
Yep.
So I love that. Really, really powerful. And you're obviously a TV personality as well, which is awesome. And I'd love to know from the growth and the coaching mentoring perspective here. Like, did you get some coaching mentoring for it, or just generally coaching mentoring for yourself? Right? How has that helped you in your life and business?
Yeah, so early on it was just me and my mom. I didn't have any mentors really growing up other than, the guys that I saw on TV, Van Damme. Like I wanted to look like that guy, and but I wasn't getting any mentoring per se. What I got a lot of though was just real life experience, and then understanding how making relationships and the communication and how you treated people really mattered, for success in general. And then really applying my passion to that to make it kind of go full force. And I'll tell you, it wasn't until 2012. So we had been in business for 3 years, and then here in Kansas City, there's an entrepreneur group that we got accepted to be a part of. A really amazing group of entrepreneurs here in Kansas City, and it was one of the most amazing experiences that I'd ever been a part of. So I was kind of matched with a mentor. He came into my business, did the online program and the one-on-one program, saw different flaws or things that I could change. And I'll tell you what, some of the best mentors in the world aren't the ones that have all the answers, but the ones that come up with the best questions. And I learned so much by answering the questions that he would give me. And so I have kind of applied that not only to my business and life, but also how I mentor not only, my trainers that I have at the different gyms, but also any friends or opportunities of new acquaintances that I have. I carry that over into their lives, whether it be at the grocery store, they see a big, aisle of really healthy foods coming down the shift, and they're like, oh man, you're so healthy. And it gives me an opportunity to sit and talk about health and fitness if the lady who's checking me out is asking questions about it. So it's always kind of like, I just always look for the opportunity to help people when I can.
Yeah, I love that. So powerful. And yeah, I'm an NLP master practitioner, so I'm big on mindset as well. I'm almost like a mindset coach with a business coach. And I write, there's a lovely saying I like to say is questions are the answer a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
that's how someone gets the breakthrough as well, because if you can make them realize it for themselves, it's much more profound and longer lasting than if you just give them the answers, right? All the time. There, sometimes it has to happen. It's a combination, but if you can ask the right questions, then yeah, extremely powerful. So
Yeah.
love that element about what you've done there. And yeah, it's been a very powerful episode today. So much value has been given. And as we're wrapping up today, Micah, what one key piece of advice would you like to give to all the entrepreneurs watching and listening today?
I mean, we've kind of wrapped on this already, but like I encourage you, like, your greatest wealth is your health. You've probably heard this before, but I guarantee if you get more healthy, you can go to the gym, relieve stress. It's not all about having big muscles, like relieving stress, balancing that stress out. I understand as an entrepreneur and running 3 different businesses and having a happy marriage and whatnot, like it's a lot. And so we got to have outlets that are positive, where we're not turning to alcohol or drugs or anything to try to cope. We're going and utilizing positive things that we have control over to balance ourselves out. And then start eating better, really try to get a lot of the negative foods out of your life and implement some healthy foods. I can't tell you how much it will change how you run your business, how much more effective you are within your relationships, and just how full of a life you actually will live.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Completely agree with that. So powerful when you've got that in order and just transformed all areas of our life and business. And yeah, we connected through our network. So I learned about your awesome journey to, co-founding Hitch Fit to now growing. It's 81 countries with the students having lost over 600,000 pounds, which is amazing. Awesome guy, so knowledgeable, so much value being given today. I'm sure you continue to help people transform their bodies and lives. Very grateful that we connected and look forward to working with you. So Micah, how can people find you and get in contact with you?
Yeah, I mean, you can Google my name. It's kind of an odd name, so you can Google my name. I'm all over the place as far as social media. Hitchfit.com. If you are ready to transform your body and you follow what I make you, you will get an amazing, amazing shape and health. And then Rock Body Retreat. If a retreat is something you're interested in, we do them all over the world, and so I'd love to see you on one of those as well.
Yeah, awesome, guys. Definitely check out Micah, socials, all those websites, if you really want to take your health, fitness, and body to that next level. And thank you to everyone for watching and listening to this show where we talk about everything on business growth. And please like, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as Athin Cassiotis. Or visit my website, athincassiotis.com. If you want to grow and scale your business, you can reach out to me on any platform to see if we're a good fit. I completely agree with you, or do I? The only way we know is if you tune in next time. So until next time, remember that our business grows when we learn skills and take action using them in spite of fear. So remember to design your growth and results.